In the African savanna, a cub is born weighing barely 2 pounds, blind, helpless, unable even to walk. Within a few years, that same animal can become the most feared predator on the continent, capable of taking down a half-ton buffalo. Between these two extremes lies one of the most dramatic stories in the animal kingdom, the life cycle of the lion. In this video, we'll follow every stage of this journey, from the hidden birth in the tall grass to the lonely old age of a dethroned king. We'll understand how pride's social structure works, why young males are expelled from their own group, and why a lion's life is far shorter and more violent than the image we have of this animal. Get ready, because this is a story of survival, power, loss, and new beginnings. A lion's life begins in a surprisingly discreet way. Unlike what many imagine, lionesses don't give birth inside the pride's main territory. Surrounded by the rest of the group, they isolate themselves. Weeks before giving birth, the pregnant female quietly moves away, seeking a safe hiding spot: dense thickets, abandoned dens, rocky formations. Far from the pride, and especially far from other male lions. This isolation isn't accidental. It exists for a brutal reason. Male lions, especially ones that aren't the cub's fathers, pose a real threat to newborn cubs. A behavior biologists call infanticide, which we'll explore further later in this video. After a pregnancy of about 110 days, an average of 2 to 4 cubs are born per litter. They arrive in the world blind, their eyes only open between 6 and 12 days after birth. Completely dependent on their mother, weighing between 1 and 2 kilograms. During these crucial first weeks, the lioness stays almost constantly with her cubs, nursing and protecting them, only leaving the hideout briefly to hunt and feed. Around 6 to 8 weeks of age, once the cubs can walk more steadily, the mother finally introduces them to the rest of the pride. A crucial moment in a lion's social development. It's during this period that cubs begin interacting with the pride's other lionesses. And here we witness one of the most fascinating aspects of lion social life: communal care. In a pride, it's common for several females to give birth around the same time, synchronizing their reproductive cycles. This allows a behavior called cross-nursing, where a lioness may nurse cubs that aren't biologically hers, treating all the pride's cubs relatively equally. This cooperative behavior significantly increases the cub's chances of survival. If a mother dies or gets hurt during a hunt, her cubs aren't left completely helpless. Other females in the group keep feeding them. Still, the numbers are brutal. Field studies show less than half of lion cubs survive their first year. Causes include predation by hyenas and leopards, disease, starvation during scarcity, and mainly infanticide by rival males. Between 2 and 6 months of age, lion cubs enter a phase of intense physical and social development, marked by an essential behavior: play. Cubs play chase, stage small ambushes against each other, nibble the adults' tails, and practice pouncing and mock attacks on anything that moves, from insects to their mother's own tail. Far from being just fun, this playful behavior has a crucial evolutionary function. It's through play that cubs develop the motor coordination, muscle strength, and reflexes essential for hunting and territorial defense. It's also during this phase that notable behavioral differences emerge between male and female cubs. Young males tend to engage in more intense and frequent fighting play with each other, a behavior researchers link to the future development of combat skills needed for territorial disputes between adult males. Around 3 months old, cubs begin following the pride during movements, and gradually start experimenting with solid meat, though full weaning only happens around 6 months of age. To truly understand a lion's life, we need to understand the pride's unique structure. The only truly organized social group among all big cats. A typical pride is made up mainly of related females, mothers, daughters, sisters, aunts, who stay together their entire lives, forming the group's stable, permanent core. A pride size can vary considerably, from about 4 to more than 30 individuals, depending on prey availability. Males, on the other hand, have a completely different relationship with the pride. Usually, a coalition of 1 to 4 males, often brothers or cousins who stayed together after leaving their birth pride, takes reproductive and territorial control of a given group of females. But this position is temporary, usually lasting 2 to 4 years, until they're challenged and defeated by a new coalition of rival males. This social system creates one of the most controversial and brutal behaviors observed in nature. When a new coalition of males takes control of a pride, it's extremely common for the new males to kill every dependent cub sired by the previous male. This behavior, disturbing as it is, has a fairly direct evolutionary explanation, documented extensively by researchers like George Schaller, and later by the Serengeti Lion Research Project. While a lioness is nursing cubs, she generally doesn't come into heat, meaning she's not reproductively available. By eliminating a rival male's cubs, the new male forces the pride's females into heat much faster, allowing him to sire his own offspring in a considerably shorter time. Something crucial, given that his own reign over the pride is, on average, quite brief. From an evolutionary standpoint, as uncomfortable as it is to view this coldly, each male is essentially maximizing the chances his own genes get passed on before he's eventually dethroned by a younger, stronger coalition. That's exactly why pregnant females isolate themselves during birth, and why lionesses often actively try to defend their cubs against invading males, even at considerable risk to their own lives. Though in most documented cases, females can't physically stop adult males, who are significantly larger and stronger. Around 2 to 3 years of age, young males face one of the most decisive and brutal moments of their entire existence: expulsion from their birth pride. When a young male approaches sexual maturity, he becomes a potential reproductive threat to the pride's dominant males, even though he's biologically their son or nephew. For this reason, once they reach a certain age, young males are expelled, often aggressively, forced to leave the group where they were born for good. Young females, by contrast, generally stay in their birth pride for the rest of their lives, keeping the matrilineal social structure stable across generations. Expelled males then enter a phase known as the nomadic period, possibly the most dangerous stage of a lion's entire life. Without the support of an established pride, without defined territory, and often still lacking the full physical strength of an adult male, these young lions wander through unfamiliar territory, often with brothers or cousins from the same litter, forming small coalitions that will remain together, in many cases, for the rest of their lives. During the nomadic period, which can last 2 to 3 years, young males face constant challenges. They must hunt without the coordinated support of an entire pride, avoid territories already held by stronger, established coalitions, and often survive in marginal areas with less prey available. It's during this phase that most young adult male mortality occurs. Many die in territorial clashes with other males, others succumb to starvation, and some die in conflicts with humans, especially near grazing areas while pursuing easier prey like livestock. But it's also during this phase that males develop the physical traits that will eventually let them challenge established coalitions. They gain considerable muscle mass, develop a full mane, which, interestingly, also signals testosterone levels and physical strength to other lions, functioning as a visual indicator of reproductive fitness. And they hone hunting and combat skills through direct experience. Coalitions of brother males, formed back when they were expelled from the birth pride, carry significant evolutionary advantage. Research shows larger coalitions have considerably higher success rates when trying to take over established prides, compared to solitary males. Around 5 years of age, a male lion generally reaches peak physical strength and maturity, the ideal moment to challenge the leadership of an established pride. These territorial clashes between rival coalitions are among the most violent events in African wildlife. The disputes involve intense roaring, audible up to 8 kilometers away, serving both as a show of strength and as intimidation, followed, when necessary, by direct physical combat, which can result in serious injury or even death. When a new coalition manages to defeat the previous males and take control of a pride, a new reproductive cycle begins, often accompanied, as we discussed, by the tragic infanticide of the previous coalition's cubs. This new reign, however, is also temporary. On average, a coalition of males manages to hold control of a pride for 2 to 4 years, before eventually being challenged and defeated by a new generation of younger, stronger, more numerous males, restarting the entire cycle. While males live this intense, violent cycle of rise and fall, females follow a more stable, though equally challenging, reproductive path. Lionesses reach sexual maturity around 3 to 4 years of age, and can stay reproductively active for nearly their entire adult life, usually giving birth roughly every 2 years, an interval that can shorten if cubs from a previous litter die prematurely, whether from natural causes or infanticide. Over her lifetime, a lioness may produce several litters, but due to the extremely high infant mortality rates mentioned earlier, only a relatively small fraction of those cubs actually survive to adulthood and reproduce themselves. This reproductive pattern, brutal from an individual standpoint, is essential to sustaining the lion population over time, compensating for the extremely high mortality rates seen both in infancy and during young males' nomadic phase. Between 5 and 10 years of age, both male and female lions reach the peak of their physical abilities, maximum strength, fully developed hunting skills, and, for males who have taken over a pride, established territorial control. It's during this phase that lions play their most active roles within the group's social structure. Females handle most of the hunting duties. About 85 to 90% of a pride's successful hunts are carried out by lionesses, often through coordinated, cooperative strategies, surrounding prey from multiple directions at once. Males, in turn, spend much of their energy on territorial defense, patrolling the pride's territory boundaries, marking the area with urine and feces, and using their roar as the main long-distance communication tool to ward off potential rivals and stay in contact with coalition members who may be temporarily apart. Despite the popular image of the king of the jungle as a solitary hunter, adult males hunt less frequently than females, though when they do, especially against larger, more dangerous prey like African buffalo, their superior physical strength often makes a crucial difference in the outcome. Around 10 to 12 years of age, lions begin showing clear signs of physical decline, a process that in the wild has dramatic and often fatal consequences. For males, especially those still controlling a pride, aging represents growing vulnerability. As physical strength declines, they become increasingly likely to be challenged and defeated by younger coalitions. A moment that marks, in most cases, the definitive end of their active reproductive and social role. Dethroned males face a particularly cruel fate. Without a pride, without the protection and cooperative support of a coalition, and with declining physical abilities, many of these aging lions end up living as solitary nomads, increasingly dependent on scavenging. Leftovers from other predators' kills, since active hunting becomes progressively harder without youthful teeth and muscle. Females, while generally not facing the same violent expulsion males experience, also experience significant decline in hunting ability as they age, and often become more dependent on the rest of the pride's cooperation to secure enough food. In the wild, a lion's life expectancy rarely exceeds 12 to 16 years, significantly shorter than the life expectancy seen in captivity, where lions can live 20 years or more. Protected from the constant threats of territorial conflict, starvation, and disease that define wild life. The cause of death for aging wild lions is usually directly tied to physical decline. Growing inability to compete for food, untreated injuries from past territorial disputes, or even predation. Yes, old, weakened lions can, in rare cases, be killed by large groups of hyenas, especially once already debilitated or injured. When a lion dies, its role in the ecosystem doesn't end immediately. The carcass becomes an essential food source for an entire chain of scavengers. Hyenas, vultures, jackals, playing, even after death, a relevant ecological role within the delicate balance of the African savanna. And so the cycle closes and simultaneously begins again. While an old male ends his journey, somewhere in the savanna, a new coalition of young males is fighting for control of a pride. Elsewhere, a lioness is isolated, hidden in dense vegetation, giving birth to a new generation of blind, vulnerable cubs. This constant cycle of birth, rise, power, decline, and death has repeated for hundreds of thousands of years across the African savanna. Shaped by relentless evolutionary pressure that favors strength, social strategy, and often a brutality that challenges the romanticized image we have of these animals. From a blind, helpless cub to the dominant male roaring over his territory. From the female hunting cooperatively with her sisters to the old lioness who depends on the pride's support to survive. From the lone young nomad fighting for survival to the victorious coalition taking control of a new kingdom. The lion's life cycle is at once one of the most violent and one of the most fascinating stories in the entire animal kingdom. A journey shaped by cooperation, competition, loss, and above all, the relentless logic of survival and reproduction. If this video helped you understand the complexity behind the image of the king of the jungle, hit like. Share it with someone who loves wildlife and subscribe for more. We'll keep exploring the most fascinating life cycles in nature. See you in the next video.